Hey guys, before this video starts, I want to add some things on. Firstly, this video was meant to come out sooner, but I got too lazy and decided to post this last minute. This is my first time doing video editing, so I'm sorry if the quality is poor. I was also gonna make a remake this video because the audio is pretty bad, but since I have no good microphone besides my cheap headphone mic, I decided this would have to do. I'm so sorry for the shitty audio recording. I tried my best to edit the extra noise out, but there's still background noise. Anyways, headphone warning for this video, and I hope you enjoy the video 3.
Hello, everybody. I am, as known as online as Coral, and if you know me, obviously I am a Walten Files fanatic, or a big fan of them, and I have a theory. And as you know, the day of posting this, that the Walten Files 5, episode 5, is coming out in 10 days on the 31st, making this on the 21st of July. So, as a way to celebrate 10 days away from the Walten Files 5 dropping, I wanted to make a theory. I wanted to post a theory I've been talking about. I'm posting this now, but I do plan to edit this and actually better, post this as more of a proper theory on in 5 days. But since I'm just going to post it now for anyone who wants to hear it. Okay, this has already been a minute into the video, but I'm going to do it. So I'm going to say my theory now. Okay, and I don't know if this is main knowledge. I don't really interact with the theory creating community at the Walten Files, but here we go. So my theory is Felix did not confess that he got into the accident with Ed and Molly. My theory is that he told Jack and Rose. Felix told Jack and Rose, and possibly the police, that Ed and Molly were kidnapped. And you might ask, why did you think that, Coral? I think that because, we obviously know Felix can lie. Even if he feels bad for his actions, he hid, Rocket from Jack and Rose, saying that he did not know, they left at school or something. And obviously he's been shown to lie at times. But I think that he said that they were kidnapped, obviously to probably cover the fact that he killed them and hid their bodies. And I think that he told and I also believe this because in one of the mini episodes, not relating to the Walten Files 4, 5s, etc., the numbers, the tape and stuff, there was a news covering and it talked about 6 people going missing, and it made me realize 6, we only know about 4 people going missing: Jack, Rose, Susan, and Charles. That leaves 2 more people. And originally I thought, oh, this could be Brian and Ashley. That's what I thought people might think. But no, I realized that this news article was made in the summer. The people that were talking about going missing are missing in the summer of 1974, when Jack was missing. And when Brian and Ashley go missing, they are part of a relocate project years after the Bond's Burgers shut down, and now Felix is making it a comeback with it. So this is that is why I believe this extra 2 missing people cannot be Brian and Ashley, because that's years later, around probably the 80s when Bunny Farm happened, because Bunny Farm, Jenny mentions, Brian and Ashley going missing. And that was I think lately, that was recent in Bunny Farm's date. So I think, okay, who are these 2 missing people? And I think it's Ed and Molly. and that's why. And I think this also ties to another theory I have of who Bond is. Now, Bond is mysterious. People theorize it could be Jack, but I theorize against it. And here's my theory. It's kind of a really loose theory. It's this part of the theory isn't I'm not sure. It's probably a crazy person talking. So listen, hear me out. So I'm not sure where the post is, but I know I think I found on Reddit or Twitter that Martin someplace said that Jack is good with guns. And possibly hunts. I saw on the wiki, I was looking through Jack photos and Jack gallery, and there's I think a photo in the background of Jack, hunting. So Jack is supposedly good with guns. And when we see Bond, in quotations, Bond in Walten Files for Cybertech, the tapes, we see Bond has seemingly a wound in his head. Sorry guys, that it cut off. Anyways, back to my theory. Bond has a wound in his head. Seemingly. It's hard to tell. And this theory I made kind of was based off of the earlier theory, of Ed and Molly being said to be missing, not to be in a car accident. And I think that, I think that also a theory that Jack was Jack was thinking and possibly thinking of people who might have kidnapped Ed and Molly, because my theory that what Felix told Jack, Rose, and the police said possibly is a few theories that we see Ed and Molly alone. In the beginning of Walten Files 4, we see Ed and Molly trying to find Felix. They're alone. It looks almost abandoned. We can assume that it was literally only Ed, Molly, and Felix in the building. So, and obviously the security is probably not the best in the 70s. So there's probably no security cameras possibly, so they're probably gonna have to take Felix's word. And I think the story Felix made up is the story that a few possibilities I came up with. Possibly that Felix, because he was drunk, passed out drunk, it seems. The theory Felix could the story Felix could have given was, someone took Ed and Molly when he was drunk at the school, because that could hypothetically happen, even in real life. They're at a party, someone picks kids up from school and to kidnap, used as a kidnap technique, or tactic. And I think that Felix would tell that, or if Felix, I was also wondering another theory, since Felix literally crashed his car and seems to be have blood on him. Another theory story that Felix possibly could have told the police was he got into an accident, someone crashed into him, and they took Ed and Molly. That's a good, it's the 70s, plus police, they're not up to date with thinking, how maybe we look for missing children. But Felix could have possibly said that someone crashed purposely crashed into him when he's driving Ed and Molly home, and someone took the kids Ed and Molly while he was passed out. He could also tell that story. But anyways, back to the theory. Another theory I have with who Bond could be. So again, like I said, Jack is said to be good with guns. That I am not sure if that's canon, but so take that with a grain of salt, because I don't have physical proof, but I do have physical proof of my theory that Ed and Molly I believe, were said to have been kidnapped instead of, oh, Felix crashed the car and killed the kids. But my theory that now I have surrounding Bond is Jack is furious. He's probably, we already see Jack at the idea of Felix hurting Ed and Molly. He goes over to Felix's house and bangs on the door and gets violent, even saying, if you did anything to the kids, Felix, I'll kill you. Paraphrasing kind of what he said. But you can see Jack loves his kids. He has like a fatherly instinct to protect the kids, and that's understandable. So he is, if he's under the impression that someone took and kidnapped his kids, he's gonna be angry and wants to find them and kill them. And so he might be like, and it's said in the same little news thing, talking about the in total everything, the news talking about Bond's Burgers. It said that Jack went to Bond's Burgers over 10 times in the span, I think, of a week or two. So maybe they're thinking like, oh, why would like he might be searching there around to see like see if the person who he thinks who kidnapped Ed and Molly, he might be like searching around there because it's a kids establishment. If he's thinking, oh, someone kidnapped my kids, they might be trying to look for other kids to kidnap. So of course they're probably gonna go to a kids establishment, and he might and the person, I realized that I think Jack had a person he thought kidnapped Ed and Molly. And so Jack, being good with guns, kills Bond. And that's why this theory is said to be possibly crazy. This is, again, like I said, it's a crazy theory. But I think Jack killed the person who is said to be Bond, because the bullet wound in his head and Jack supposedly being good with guns. And I'm not sure if Jack stuffed Bond into the suit of Bond, but because that, and we see in like the Cyberfun tech tape or video that we see Bond's spirit actually just start going into Bond, the animatronic, and possessing him that way. And then, so I'm not sure if just Bond's soul decides to tether to Bond or whatever, but yeah. And originally, and then I think that Bond wants to get revenge on Jack for killing him. So Jack decides to kill, Bond decides to kill Jack's co-workers, friends, and even wife and daughter. Bond is after Sophie, and it seems that also Bond will kill people who know too much, like Ashley and Brian. And so yeah, that is kind of my theory. Basically, the theory in summary is Jack is under the assumption that Felix is like, Jack is under the impression that someone kidnapped his kids because Felix didn't want to tell them. Felix did not want to say he killed the kids. He was responsible for their death, so he would tell that someone kidnapped the kids. Jack is furious and wants to get revenge on someone he thinks is a kidnapper. He wants to take matters into his own hands, kills someone, who becomes Bond, and Bond wants to get revenge of being killed. Because, like, Bond also said he was scared at first, telling Susan. He was scared, maybe, because, like, I'd also be scared if I was someone who did not kidnap children and then get killed and called a child kidnapper. So then Bond takes revenge on Jack by killing Jack's loved ones. And I think Jack is possibly still alive. Maybe he ran away from the guilt of killing someone. Maybe, I am not sure. Again, this is just a theory. And yeah, this is why I'm posting this 10 days. And I will be posting, obviously, the post I'm making is a celebration that 10 days away. And in like 5 days, or maybe 7 days, a week away, something like that, I will actually post a better formed theory like this. I'll write a script, re-record, edit it, like put like my little sprite, and yeah, I will better structure this video. I just wanted to put it out, possibly not only to celebrate 10 days, but also 10 days being like Walten Files 5 in 10 days. And is just to finally post my theory out to the internet. Again, this is theory, it's pretty like crazy. And again, like I said, I wanted to post this theory before Walten Files 5 drops because Walten Files 5 will probably answer a lot of our questions, like maybe who is Bond. We'll obviously like see what happens after Ed and Molly's death, the funeral, and oh yeah, I also wanted to mention the funeral before I left. The funeral we see in the teasers has caskets, but usually the caskets would probably be laying down to, hold a dead body. And like they don't know where the dead bodies are because K through 9 is, I believe, implied to be the spot built where Felix buried Ed and Molly. So there's a possibility that Felix built on top of Ed and Molly's graves so they can never be found, but I don't know if that's confirmed. But like, back to the funeral, there's possibly memorials. Like for coming from personal experience, we had a funeral, but like didn't show a casket or really anything. It was just like a memoriam, like a mix of just like kind of remembering the lives that passed. Lives for this context being Ed and Molly. But yeah, like I said, Walten Files 5 we will see a bunch of questions will get answered. And theory is we'll possibly see the day that Jack goes missing in Walten Files 5. It's going to be over an hour long, and the longest episode for Walten Files yet. So it's going to be more cinematic, and I'm really hyped. And like I said, we'll unfortunately see a lot. Unfortunately, meaning we will see Rosemary's death, which is going to be so sad. Because in my opinion, Rosemary's is one of the most gruesome deaths that at least we know of, because maybe actually besides Charles's face got like mangled, but like I said, Rose gets like torn limb from limb, and that is extremely sad. And I'm gonna be sad we're most likely having to see a better structure, like how we saw better how Susan died. Like better quality and detail. We'll most likely see how Rose dies. And that scene that we saw like from the first or second episode of Walten Files. But yeah. Again, I wanted to post my theory now to see if I was possibly right. And kind of look back at this and maybe think, yeah, I'm crazy. Everyone laugh and point at the crazy person. Or I could look back and be like, yo, I predicted it. That's so cool. But anyways, this video has gone on too long. I might post this video and the one in like 2x speed. But yeah, I'm gonna try and post this as quick as possible because it's 11 p.m. recording this. So yeah, thank you for listening, and bye, Walten Files fans.